Hello YouTube. Alright, today I went to CompUSA and decided to get a graphics card for this LAN party I'm going to next week. Wow, next week. So I picked up a Galaxy G210 graphics card. And it has a gig of RAM on it. Uses DDR2 memory, which is a shame, but that's what they had. Has HDMI, DVI, and VGA. Has all your basic sort of connections. They make a point in saying that it's PCIe X16. They had several 210s at the place there, actually. However, I was talking with the guy there, and the EVGA version had DDR3, but it was 64-bit, so it was just a crippled card. This one, however, has DDR2 and is a 128-bit card with a fan that's actually decent. So I opted to get this card instead. So it wasn't a low-profile card with a shitty fan that would last like 5 minutes, from what I understand. So let's take a look at this thing. Well, that's good. They actually put a thank you note in there. That's a nice gesture, I guess. And there's the graphics card itself. CDs. Thank you for buying our stuff. This actually has Extreme Tuner on the disc, which is useful if you need to underclock or overclock your graphics card any. So let's take a look at the card itself. There you have it. There's the GeForce 210 that I have now. The fan is a lot bigger than you see on some of these lower end cards, although you can see there's a lot of bare space on the board there. Focus. There we go. It's a nice looking board, actually, and it mounts with just plain old screws too, so those can be changed if necessary. And the fan seems to be good on this one. Yeah, it looks like a pretty decent fan compared to others I've used. So stick it in the machine. Actually, it has black ports on it, which is kind of nice looking. I like that. So I'm going to stick that in the most ghetto machine in the world. So, there we are. We got a Cooler Master 400-watt power supply, which has had a dead fan already, so I had to send it back and get the fan replaced because it was under warranty. It's got the thinner version of the Maskell heatsinks I like a lot. It's got a long life bearing instead of a ball bearing. And a thinner core. It's a Pentium dual core. 2 gigs of RAM. A really beat up 200 gig Seagate hard drive that's on its last legs. It has like 18 bad sectors, and it's in pretty sad shape. So I wouldn't trust it with anything important ever at all. So that's why I'm putting it in this machine. This is probably the last life out of it that I'm going to get, judging by the condition that it's in. Yeah, so let's put the card in. All right, got the card installed in there, and plug it in and give it a try. Low resolution, man. Let's log in here. Listen to that thing pert. That drive is loud. That Seagate drive is very loud. Oh god, it looks like I'm using Windows 98. This resolution is so small. I indeed have the right driver for this Galaxy GeForce 210. It's not a GT 210, it's a GeForce. It's just a 210, nothing else. I just read that on there. So, let's install the driver and get this show on the road. Come on, man. Do 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 do. And this should do it. Alright, the GeForce 210 drivers have been installed, so let's try Counter-Strike and see how well that works. At least the demo, or whatever it is, on there. Yeah, we can just go into a server and watch people play. And that's the demo I'll use, because Counter-Strike Source and Team Fortress 2 are the type of games we're probably going to be playing. So, you know. One thing I should mention is the GeForce 210 is very similar to the Nvidia 9500 GT. And the 9500 GT was a very good budget card when it first came out. It's a little bit less so now, but it's a very good card. So we'll start Counter-Strike here. Counter-Strike Source. And go watch a game. I'll go find a server and put us in there so you can see how good the graphics are with this particular card, which they should work just fine and has smooth frame rates and everything. This card's literally in here just to play games. Not to make them look amazing, just to play the games. Alright, I found one. It's retrieving the server info and everything, so this is the XXL 24/7 Office server on Counter-Strike Source. This is a place I like to go whenever I play, just because it's a good map. Check it out, man. The FPS isn't too high, though. Spectate here. Watch people go. It should be smooth enough. Lol, this guy. Oh yeah, it's smooth enough to play. Absolutely good. The FPS is sitting around like 40, almost. But I could set the graphics lower and get better frame rates. So, it's okay. It seems to perform very well. That's awesome. Come on, dude, shoot the guy in the window. Huh? There he goes. Well, it performs adequately well. I mean, the frame rate's not the highest. And judging by what kind of card this is, that makes a lot of sense. So, you get what you pay for. This thing was like $40. It'll be $30 with rebate, so it's definitely well worth the money. And it's nothing to write home about either. It'll just play the games that I want rather well, and that'll be good. So I think the next thing we should do is do the video stress test. Let's try it. Alright, here we go. Holding at like 25 frames per second. Everything here is playable. So, when it gets down to things like 15 or 10 frames is when it starts to not be playable for me. Because this to me is pretty smooth. Look at that. That's nice and smooth. A little bit of tearing here and there though, but that's what you get. 42 frames per second. 28, 29, 30. And this is a stress test, so I can set the video to garbage and it'll play fine. Alright, here we go. Your average frame rate during the stress test was 29 frames per second. And there you go. That's because of the graphics card, not because of the CPU or the RAM. So that's a test of this. It'll work. It'll work just fine. So I'm happy with it. A nice cheap graphics card to go in a very cheap LAN party rig. I mean, look at the case. It has a freaking handle, and this case is flimsy metal anyway. Go away, Steam Update News. No one cares. Anyhow, that was that's the graphics card I purchased for this machine, and it'll do well for the LAN party, I think. So, yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.